Imagine waking up every morning with a to-do list longer than a kid's Christmas wish list, and a calendar that's more packed than a subway train during rush hour. You're juggling so many balls in the air that you feel like a circus clown. That's the reality for many of us, and it's about as relaxing as a roller coaster ride. Now don't get me wrong, a dash of stress can be a good thing. It's like the espresso shot in your morning latte. It keeps you alert and on your toes. But when stress starts to feel like that never-ending treadmill run, it's time to hit the brakes. Because let's face it, nobody wants to live their life in a state of constant panic, right? Stress isn't just a mental game. It's a full-blown body-wide experience. It's like that uninvited party guest who overstays their welcome and leaves a mess in their wake. It can affect everything from your sleep, to your memory, your mood, to your health. And who needs that kind of negativity in their life? So if stress is the villain of our story, what's the superhero? Enter stress management. It's like the Batman to your Joker, the Thor to your Loki. It's the toolkit you need to keep stress from taking over your life. And it's not about eliminating stress completely, because let's face it, that's as likely as pigs flying. It's about learning to ride the waves instead of getting swept away by the tide. But wait, you say, I've tried all those relaxation techniques and nothing works. Well, stick around because we're about to take a deep dive into the world of stress management, and I promise it's not as daunting as it sounds. So, feeling stressed is as common as finding a cat video on the internet. But what about managing it? Now that's where things get complicated. So you go online, type in how to manage stress, and boom! You're bombarded with a million articles telling you to just breathe or think positive. If only it were that simple, right? Let's be honest here. The internet can be a bit like that overly cheerful friend who insists that a bowl of kale and a sunrise yoga session is all you need to manage your stress. But when you're juggling a job, a social life, or maybe even just trying to get through a particularly difficult level on your favorite video game, these simple solutions can feel about as helpful as a chocolate teapot. Sure, who doesn't love a good deep breath? It's free, it's easy, and it's always available, like that one friend who never seems to have anything else to do. But when you're hyperventilating before a big presentation, or your heart's pounding like a drum solo at a rock concert because you've just seen a spider in the shower, telling yourself to just breathe is about as effective as trying to put out a forest fire with a water pistol. And then there's the classic think positive. Ah yes, because all we need to do to banish stress is to channel our inner unicorn and fart rainbows, right? But let's get real, sometimes life isn't all sunshine and lollipops. Sometimes it's more like a thunderstorm and Brussels sprouts. And in those moments, forcing a smile can feel as unnatural as a penguin in a desert. So, why do these common pieces of advice often fail us? Well, it's because stress isn't just a feeling, it's a physiological response. It's your body's way of saying, hey, something's not right here. And while positive thinking and deep breathing can help, they're often just sticking plasters on a wound that needs stitches. So the next time someone tells you to just relax, feel free to roll your eyes. Because managing stress is not just about chilling out. Okay, so enough about what doesn't work. Let's talk about something that does. And no, it's not another 10-step stress relief guide from a random website. First up, let's dispel a myth. Stress isn't always the bad guy. In fact, it's a natural response that can sometimes give you the boost you need to get through a tough situation. The real problem arises when stress becomes chronic, and that's where our strategies come into play. Instead of trying to eliminate stress entirely, which is about as achievable as climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops, we need to focus on managing it effectively. Think of it as juggling, except instead of balls, you're juggling tasks, commitments, and the occasional curveball life throws at you. One realistic way to manage stress is through exercise. Now, before you groan and stop watching the video, we're not talking about running marathons or lifting weights that would make a bodybuilder wince. Even a simple walk around the block or a quick yoga session can help reduce stress levels. Another practical strategy is mindfulness. And no, we're not suggesting you renounce all your possessions and become a monk. Mindfulness is about being present in the moment, not worrying about the past or the future. It's like being the eye of the storm, calm amidst the chaos. Luckily, there are tools available to help cultivate mindfulness in our daily lives. One option I found particularly helpful is an app called Medito. Now, before you think this means incense and chanting, no offense to those who love that, let me assure you, Medito is a totally modern approach. And just to be clear, this suggestion comes from my own experience. There's no sponsorship involved. What's truly remarkable about Medito is that it's completely free, forever, no hidden costs, no subscription fees. It's a resource made available to help as many people as possible find some peace and calm in their lives. If you're new to mindfulness, I recommend starting with the Medito Foundation course. It's a step-by-step guide that introduces you to the principles of mindfulness and helps you build a practice that works for you. Remember, mindfulness isn't about changing the storm around you, it's about finding your center, the eye of the storm, where you can remain calm and focused. Give it a try, it's completely free, and it might just be the ally you need in managing stress. Next up, don't underestimate the power of a good night's sleep either. It's not just about the quantity of sleep, but the quality too. Try to establish a regular sleep schedule and create a calming bedtime routine. Trust me, your stress levels will thank you for it. And lastly, don't forget to laugh. It might sound cliché, but laughter really is the best medicine. It triggers the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel-good hormones. So, watch a funny movie, share a joke, do whatever makes you chuckle. Managing stress is not about eliminating it, but learning to handle it, and it's much easier than you think.